primary points of concern were addressed. We originally responded on a report of an external fire on the structure upon our arrival. A lot of their bulk storage, which mostly pallets, and then product was stored out back, along with some vertical tanks that had polystyrene in them. The other thing we were concerned with was they had a 35,000 gallon highly flammable tank of difluoroethane that would create a rather large explosion. So one of our primary concerns was to protect that and the building, which we were able to achieve. Yeah.
Injuries?
No injuries, no report. We worked with the occupants of the structure when we initially got here, and then we did a secondary count. All employees were accounted for. No injuries there. With our personnel, no injuries there.
I know there was a little confusion about, shelter in place and that kind of thing, and there was an alert sent out, emergency alert on the phone. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
I really can't tell you anything about that. That didn't come from us. So I guess we'd have to try and find out what the point of origin was and what caused them to do that. What we're looking at is that the vertical tanks, there's still one standing. They contain polystyrene beads. Now when those burn, especially at a high temperature in a large fire, the bulk of what they put off is carbon monoxide. One of our initial concerns was making sure that whatever was burning, just like with any fire, you get a rapid rate of rise. You don't get people in the smoke itself, because carbon monoxide is not good for you. It can also contain styrene monomers, which once again, you keep people out of the smoke and you're in good shape. We visited with the National Weather Service early on, and they did advise us that we could expect that light westerly wind until late this evening, which then is supposed to turn out of the north, which gives us a good direction to travel. We have a good rate of rise on tracking of plume, but as far as where that came from, we're unaware of that. We did visit with representatives from the schools. There were concerns there. Of course, that didn't affect any of the schools in the vicinity or any of the businesses. We even got a call, I think, from CNN. They had a report a Walmart building was on fire. So, and when we told them no, it wasn't a Walmart building, they hung up. So that's what we've got so far. We expect to be out here at least another 5 to 6 hours doing cleanup and the mop-up work. There was some damage to the interior of the building, but for the most part, the building is completely intact and was safe.
So there is no need for a shelter in place?
No, ma'am. No.
Can you tell us how many crews you had out here, what y'all had to do to put out this fire, that kind of thing, please?
Well, it took everything we had, which was going to be about 25 firefighters, 6 stations. We also called in, and Rogers was generous enough. They sent a couple apparatus. Villa Vista Fire Department sent an apparatus, personnel. SR is an exact count. I don't have that count just yet. Another thing that we were very fortunate with was we're doing some work today with a company on drones, aerial drones, and we were just getting ready to go outside when the fire started, and they were able to put up their drones, and they were able to give us contact meter readings on the flammable tank and let us know what temperatures we were dealing with there. We wanted to keep it under 125 degrees. When the hottest it got was 95, before we were able to cool it back down and prevent an explosion.
I know there was one building that was evacuated, the Walmart building.
Yes.
Okay, correct.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about that and kind of why they were evacuated?
Well, sure. As we talk about with any fire, you're going to have lots of carbon monoxide in the smoke. And when you've got that much carbon monoxide, and like I say, when these polystyrene is burning, you can have styrene monomers. They can be in there as well. So we want to keep everybody out of the smoke. And while we had a nice light westerly breeze today, they were right in the path of travel. So we felt it was best that they not occupy that building.
Can you talk a little bit more just about, you're talking about poly, whatever. I don't know what that is.
Styrofoam.
There you go. Can you talk a little bit about what happened using styrofoam instead of poly?
What do you mean?
Just talk about fire and the difference in all that.
Well, number one, it burns at a faster rate. It burns hotter. It's styrofoam. Anyone who's ever burned a styrofoam cup or anything like that, you understand the complexities with that. As far as what happens after that, the bulk of the chemicals are consumed in the fire itself, as long as they burn. What we're dealing with right now and working with ADEQ on, because one of our initial concerns with this was going to be our runoff. And right now what we're doing is we're working with ADEQ and the Office of Emergency Management in Benton County on making sure that there's no issues there. We got booms, protective booms put up in front of the intakes for stormwater to prevent the bulk of that, but it still will need to be checked by ADEQ.
And how long are the roads going to be blocked off? And what specific roads are blocked off right now?
MLK will probably be closed for the rest of the day for sure, so we can complete our operations, which will also include a portion of 5th, because if you're coming down 5th in this direction of travel, your only exit is to go down MLK. So we'll probably keep that blocked at P Street. Oh, sure. Well, now and I'm glad you brought that up, because that was affected. The city has a large electrical transporter station just to the south, and it was severely affected. As a matter of fact, they did come in and they did kill power to that substation and did have to reroute. So there were some power outages to some of the area structures. I don't know to what extent. I haven't had a chance to get out of here and really get an account of that. But,
has power been restored?
Reroute. Huh?
Has it been restored?
Not out of that substation, no sir. They'll have to do some repairs on the lines coming out, because we did have power lines to the heat.
There are still outages?
Well, you'll have to visit with the electric department on that. All I can speak for is that they did shut down that substation. Now, how they reroute and what buildings are affected, I can't answer that because I haven't had the opportunity to get back and do a full appraisal.
So you said you'll be on scene for the next 5 to 6 hours?
At least.
And,
well, and through the night, because we won't be able to start the investigation until tomorrow. So that's when ATF will be.
And when did you get the original call for this fire? So how long have you all been out here as of right now?
All right, off record, right? Did it? I can look it up.
We're live.
Okay,
So, yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
I wish you'd have told me that in the beginning. I'd have fixed my hair. But no, in all seriousness, it could have been a lot worse. Had the crews not been able to protect those highly flammable tanks and barrels and keep it out of the building, it would have been much worse.
Yeah, what percentage?
99%. One of the issues that we are dealing with right now is that the vertical tanks that stored the polystyrene beads, 3 of the 4 did collapse, which makes it difficult to access all the material on the inside. So we have to create different angles and work from different aspects to try and get it all extinguished. But I would say we're up to 95, 97% out.
Chief, I got some footage earlier of y'all spraying a tank by the fire. Is that the tank
That's
you were talking about?
That's the difluoroethane, yeah, 35,000 pounds.
And it's safe
Highly
now?
flammable.
Yeah, but it's safe now.
It is. Temperatures are below 60 degrees.
Anything else we need to know right now?
Not
What's
right
the public
now.
need to know?
No.
The most important thing for the public, what would you say?
You know, the important thing for the public is what we encounter is curiosity, and now is not a good time to try and be curious and try and figure out a way to get it in and around, because our personnel are still going to be working. There's still a lot of hazards. There's weak power lines, there's weak utility poles, things that have been affected by the fire, and so we would appreciate it, if the public would just not try and get their personal view or photograph. Right. That would be the best thing to do.
Okay. Anything else?
No.
Good to go? Okay. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chief. Appreciate it.